Manchester United need to sign quite a few players this summer. Well, that's what I keep telling you guys. But what I haven't actually done is then told you guys who I would sign. So that is exactly what we are going to do today. We're going to look at a few different positions which I feel that Manchester United really need to target this summer. And I'm going to suggest a player for each position. Now, the idea is that every player will be under 26 years old and will not cost more than £65 million individually. And we're going to start off with the right centre-back position. Firstly, United need this. One of the reasons why I think United need this is simply because Raphael Varane doesn't quite suit what we want to do, and I don't really feel that any of our other centre-backs do either. So United need to bring a new player into this position, and the player that I would like to put forward for this area is Todibo. Now, yes, I know this is a link which a lot of people have made, a lot of people have spoke about him, but for me, there is good reason to suggest him for this Manchester United squad. His FBref report here is some of the reason. The passes attempted, the pass completion, the progressive passes. This is a high volume player. Someone who is extremely comfortable on the ball. His best years are still ahead of him and he would definitely only cost around £35–40 million. In terms of what he would bring to this United side, he would bring true athleticism to the defence. Something which it currently lacks. This United team is pretty technical at the back, I would say. Dalot, Lisandro Martinez and Shaw, but they lack athleticism. The ability to cover a lot of ground, certainly in the middle here. Todibo would go a long way to addressing that. Now, I will discuss his actual tactical fit towards the end of the video, but in my opinion, I do think he would be a very good signing for United. He is someone who is comfortable playing out from the back, paws are on the ball. In the middle third, I think he's very calm, very good at ticking the ball over, keeping the tempo going, but also then adding an injection of intensity, forward passes through the lines, long switches of play, things like that. And then from a defensive point of view as well, we'll cover it later, he is very, very impressive. So for me, Todibo is definitely a player which Manchester United should be signing this summer. Another player I would like to see United targeting, or another position I should say, is the left centre-back position. Now, the reason for this is because Lisandro Martinez is a key player for Manchester United. But the second he gets injured and comes out of the side, we have no one who can really do the same job. No one who can come in and replace him. And as a result, we have to completely change tactical approach. So we need to try and find someone similar to Lisandro Martinez. And the player that I would like to put forward is Lukumi. A player, again, which we have spoken about before. And now you can see why I've recommended some of these guys in previous videos. Lukumi is so good. Again, he's a player which would probably cost around £25–30 million. 26 years old in the summer, so he ticks that criteria. He's very good. Now, the stats don't necessarily reflect that. Successful take-ons fairly low, progressive passes fairly low, but what we can see is that passes attempted and pass completion really high. But the important thing with Lukumi comes more from actually watching him play football rather than looking at his stats. Because when you watch him play football, you see how tactically versatile he is. Lisandro Martinez is a player who at times has stepped into midfield due to his press resistance. Lukumi does this all the time for Bologna. He's also really comfortable receiving the ball playing out from the back. He's a good progressive passer, he can take players on, he's a good ball carrier. He ticks almost every box which Lisandro Martinez does. But also from a defensive point of view, I actually feel that he's a little bit better. He's more physical, he's a little bit stronger, he's a little bit better in the air, he's around 6 foot tall, and he covers ground much better, much quicker, a much better channel defender. So I actually think Lukumi ticks a lot of the boxes which Lisandro Martinez does in possession. Granted, not quite to the same level, but he's a backup player. But out of possession, in my opinion, he's actually better. So this is why, once again, I feel that he would be a really good signing. And again, we will discuss the tactical fit shortly. Moving forward, though, into midfield. Manchester United have to sign someone to play next to Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie Mainoo is him. He is the truth. He is the future. He is Manchester United right there. You have to build around him. And we've seen already in a brief glimpse for England what he can do next to a big, strong, tall, dominating midfielder. United need to try and find that. Give Kobbie Mainoo the license to at times drop deep, at times push forward, really influence the game. United need to find the right partner for him. And for me, again, it's a player we've linked a lot. Amadou Onana. He ticks so many of the boxes which Manchester United need. The big one there, the 99th percentile for aerial duels won, the percentages. That's impressive. In a United side which struggles physically a little bit, Onana would massively address that because he's absolutely massive, to be honest with you. He is absolutely huge. He's a brilliant ball winner, a brilliant dueler, fantastic in the air, but also, in my opinion, underrated on the ball. a brilliant switcher of the play. I love his long range passing, and I think he's improving in the technical aspect, receiving the ball deep. I think he's getting better at receiving the ball in these sorts of areas, taking the ball into his body, shifting it onto someone else. That's exactly what Kobbie Mainoo needs to play alongside. Again, it's almost perfect. Now, this is probably the one player who is pushing the boundaries of the budget a little bit. £65 million, could you get him for that? I think realistically, he's worth around 55 to 60, so hopefully Manchester United would be able to do it. Let me know if you think I'm pushing the boundaries a little bit on this one. Let me know what you think. But in my opinion, tactically, he could be a lot of what Manchester United need. The only thing I don't think he does possess is the high volume play. Someone who gets 90 touches a game and dictates in that way. But perhaps that's just because he's never played in the side which allows him to do that. I think he has a lot of the technical qualities and the technical foundation to become that sort of player. And alongside Kobbie Mainoo, that could be just perfect. So he's another player which should be on United's list. As is someone to play as a backup or starting right winger. Garnacho, of course, has done very well this season. Played really well, but the second he comes out, we're looking at Anthony, not as good. So what we essentially need, in my opinion, is a versatile backup player. Someone who can be backup to Garnacho on the right-hand side, but can also force him out of the team at times. We need that sort of quality if we want to go to the next level. But also someone who can compete with Marcus Rashford, be backup to him, but again, maybe kick him out of the team at times. That's how good a player we are looking for. And in my opinion, there is one player which stands out above all the rest. It's not Elise like you might think. For me, it's Nico Williams of Athletic Bilbao. The progressive carries, the 95th percentile. The successful take-ons, the 95th percentile. We are fed up of the days of watching someone like Anthony or Sancho, who gets the ball out wide, stands up a fullback, and lacks the ability to go past them. Perhaps doesn't have the speed, the acceleration, the agility, the trickery, whatever it may be. Nico Williams has all of those things and is a brilliant 1-versus-1 dribbler. Unbelievably good on the ball, unbelievably threatening in these positions. He is absolutely electric. Every time you watch him, he steals the show. He is so good. And the best part about it is he can play on either side of the pitch. He's a very good right winger, and we saw him there a lot last season. This season, though, he's played more on the left-hand side and actually taken his game to the next level. He's such a good player in the final third of the pitch, and then also his ability to work a bit of space, cross a ball into the box, could be literally perfect for Rasmus Højlund up top. Nico Williams could be the perfect signing. He can play on the right, he can play on the left, and not only can he be backup for those two positions, he can actually be better than Rashford and Garnacho. That's how good he is. Very young still, and would probably cost around £43 million due to a apparent release clause. Get Nico Williams into this side in the summer. I think he brings so much to the side. I would love to see it happen. So before we continue into the video, a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, JerseyFIFA.com, the home of all of the greatest football kits. Whether that be the new latest releases or the old classic ones like this, Jersey FIFA has something for everyone, and now you can check it out yourself using the link in the description down below. And also make sure to use code JerseyFIFA for 10% off when you order. And then the last thing we need is a striker. Now again, Rasmus Højlund is a key player for Manchester United, but the second he goes out injured, we don't really have anything else to bring in. Marcus Rashford isn't a striker and shouldn't play there in my opinion, so we need someone who can be backup to Rasmus Højlund. The question is, what sort of profile do we need? In my opinion, we need someone who is quite tall and strong. We're talking 6 foot plus, but someone who, in my opinion, offers something different to Rasmus Højlund, who is better at dropping a little bit deeper, getting the ball in his feet and perhaps opening up space for someone like Marcus Rashford or Garnacho to run into. Now again, I still want the tall side of their game. I do want them to be able to compete with centre-backs and bring the ball down and really link the play, be a complete striker, but also offer a goal threat in the final third of the pitch. And in my opinion, currently, the best player for this is Xerxes of Bologna. A bit of a Bologna double raid here. This, again, is just a top player who can do a little bit of everything, and he's quite a unique profile at the moment in the striker market, in the sense that he is this 6 foot plus player, but he plays like he's about 5'9" in the way that he receives the ball in tight spaces, he quickly moves his feet, he brings other players in with his passing. He's really good. He isn't the same as Rasmus Højlund, and that might put some people off. He is a different profile of striker, very different, but I still love a lot of what he does. My only concern is that at times he enjoys dropping deep a bit too much. You know, at times you do want your striker to actually be in the box. I'm not sure if Xerxes actually does that quite enough. I would be interested to get your thoughts in the comments down below. But in my opinion, he's a really good option. I'm not completely sold on this. The same for all of the players. I need to do more research going into the summer. But say if you forced me right now to make 5 signings for the upcoming transfer window, these are probably the first 5 signings that I would make. And it's going to give you a lineup and a squad which looks something like this. Now, of course, there are still weaknesses in the squad. For example, the backup right back position is questionable. The backup to Onana is a little bit questionable. Do you still want McTominay in the squad? All of that is obviously up for debate. But in my opinion, this gives United a really good squad, and it gives you a really good tactical structure. The tactical structure it gives you is something which looks a lot like this. Now, what we can see is the first thing is we've got a lot of technical players in the first phase. Lukumi or Martinez, it doesn't matter who plays, they can receive the ball in deep areas. Todibo, comfortable on the ball, the same for Luke Shaw, and also Diogo Dalot. Importantly though, we've got a back 3 which complements each other. Todibo is an unbelievably good channel defender, which is why we've got him out wide. Same for Luke Shaw though. He's naturally a fullback, he is used to defending these channels, so I quite like that dynamic. And then Lisandro Martinez or Lukumi are best ball playing players in the middle, at the heart of the defence, with the licence to explore and find anything they want in terms of their passing range. Then we've got a double pivot. We're inverting Diogo Dalot because this is my favourite position for him, alongside Onana here. Onana again brings the physicality, the ability to sit deep, but when we lose the ball, a ground-eating profile. Also someone who can provide a little bit of height to protect Luke Shaw and Lisandro Martinez. I think it's a bit of a win-win. He would bring, in my opinion, close to everything we need. Then we've got Bruno Fernandes high, close to Marcus Rashford. What more could you want? I love that dynamic. But we've also got a dynamic of Kobbie Mainoo being given the licence to get forward. Now, importantly, what I want to see next season is more freedom to drop deep as well. Push Dalot further forward, or push Onana a little bit further forward. Let Kobbie Mainoo roam, get on the ball, make things happen. Because if you do that, you're going to see a wonderful player. In terms of out wide, we have true creative threat. Garnacho or Nico Williams, and I think Williams could overtake Garnacho here, and then Marcus Rashford on the other side. Although again, Garnacho could overtake him. Interesting dynamic on the wings, plenty of squad depth, but also plenty of take-on ability. Also, on top of that, the ability to create chances, particularly with Nico Williams in the side. He gives you that creative outlet on the right side, or as well on the left side of the pitch. Of course, someone like Luke Shaw can also be given the licence to get forward and join these attacks, and when Garnacho plays on the right-hand side, we have the understanding and the dynamic of Dalot, Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo playing together, which has worked so well in the second half of the season. Then up front, we've got 2 slightly different profiles, but they are big, goal-scoring strikers. And also, they're both young. They're going to be competing for minutes. They're going to push each other to the next level for the next decade. Constant competition, getting the best out of each other. It could give Manchester United a really nice squad. But what I would like to now do is pass it over to you guys and say, add one more signing to it. You might choose a backup right back. You might choose a backup left back. You might want someone instead of McTominay, for example, in the backup 10. Or perhaps you want a new starter in this team as well. Let me know if you could add one signing, what would it be? Apart from that though, we are finished for today. Now as I said, these are only my current thoughts. In 4 months time, I might change my mind. I don't want you guys to throw that at me. These things happen in football. We do change opinions on different players. But at the moment, if you asked me to sign 5 players, it would be these guys. Let me know your 5 signings in the comments down below though, and also that bonus signing you would make. Apart from that, we are finished. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.